if you're doing something like this to try to escape trend hopping on the internet, feeding into social media trends yourself, getting influenced by trends, this is yet another thing that will become, in my opinion, a trend. If you came across this because I posted a video before and you're like, oh, I know you, I like your video, I subscribed to you. Thank you. Wasn't expecting that. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the supportive comments that I got on my last video. This is kind of a similar vibe. I honestly just have like a bunch of things on my phone, ideas that I end up writing down that I want to talk about. Also, excuse the fanning. It's warm in here. I'm warm. I'm trying to cool down. Excuse if you hear noises. I live in a very thin apartment. I have my windows open, and even if I didn't have my windows open, you'd probably hear everything happening outside anyways. That's just the kind of building that I live in. That's just the kind of place that I'm located at. But preamble over. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to talk about today. Going analog will not save you. Going analog will not save you. And I think I've seen this trend going around, and by I've seen, I mean, I think I've seen like maybe 2 to 4 videos of people talking about analog summer, things that you can do, hobbies that you can do to go analog. And I want to first come out the gate to say, I think these are actually very, very good things. It's important for people to realize that there is a big wide world that is accessible to them outside of the immediacy of the internet, of social media platforms that have tapped into all of the things that we've learned to appreciate and enjoy about getting quick and easy fixes to our dopamine and serotonin receptors that are built into these apps. UI and UX jobs exist because they are incredibly important. User interfaces are specifically made so that it keeps people attached to the product that you've built. And I do think there's an interesting idea about the way that apps are designed around the world and websites, and kind of the narrowing of those design styles for audiences internationally. But neither here nor there. Let's go into what I was talking about before. Analog hobbies are great. And I think the use of analog is really funny as well. But I don't think it's what people are thinking it's going to be. If you are going to analog hobbies to escape your addiction to social media and internet usage, I think I want to be the voice that barely anyone listens to, pointing out that that is trend hopping. It's a trend hop. And if you're doing something like this to try to escape trend hopping on the internet, feeding into social media trends yourself, getting influenced by trends, this is yet another thing that will become, in my opinion, a trend. Trend as in defined as a short-lived burst that suddenly everyone is doing, that everyone kind of hops onto, but is itself a transient moment in time. It reminds me of, there are like several things that I've been thinking about as I've kind of grappled with this idea. One is internet exhaustion. I think internet exhaustion has popped up a lot, but I think a lot of people feel stared at, watched. They can feel the scrutiny now of their algorithm, and they're squirming underneath it.
Why do you think Facebook and Twitter are free? Because you're the product. Yes.
But I also think that this goes into a discussion I had in a video that I made a long time ago, where curating your algorithm is incredibly important. And I think it's something that people, instead of doing, would rather throw their hands in the air, cold turkey cut of just fleeing from algorithms altogether, which is a surefire way to not beat your addiction at all, but instead crash and burn and go right back to your addiction. People are talking about like having internet fatigue and being like really, really over it after the incredibly difficult years, honestly, that we've had of rampant political activity with the many horrific genocides and war crimes happening across the world. I feel like this plea for everyone to get off of their phone and find something else to do is internal subconscious stress management instead of trying to find ways to curate and better digest certain things. Cutting it cold turkey seems to be the way that people go. This isn't completely bad, except it kind of is, because there's an insidious to it that I feel I can't quite shake. First, if you need a break from activism, completely understandable. I've done it myself. It's hard, and the revolution will be televised as something important, but it is also something grim. It's something grim. Every news article, every tagline is either a reminder that the place that you are in is bad, or there's a place that exists that is better, but you can't get to it, can you? Editing Brie here, coming in to say that you're enjoying the video. I wanted to add in this additional part to kind of clarify a point that I forgot to mention in this video, but I've had so many issues with recording it that I cannot be bothered re-recording anything. I think the internet itself is a place that we can make it, and this comes with rewilding the web, creating our own third places, creating fourth and fifth places that we can exist on online, trying to resurrect those sort of old forums and things like that. While people are talking about getting away from the internet, I think it's also important to mention how good of a tool it is. When it comes to activism, the only way that people can really get the word out is through using digital channels, skirting around lines that obviously have demonized protesting to an extent where in certain countries the National Guard is getting involved. People have gotten their visas revoked. The internet is one of the main task forces that we have to gather support, to garner eyes and ears onto causes that we think are really important. While it is understandable that fatigue can happen, especially when you are shown images, having to listen to news constantly over and over and over again while scrolling on your feeds or anything like that, it's also important that this is the only kind of resource that we have to engage with what is happening in our real world and put faces and names to the people who are trying to champion certain causes, trying to garner support for certain things. And that's not something that we should find it so easy to run away from. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. I think I have a different perspective of a lot of things as someone who is not chronically online in the internet brain rot way, but was chronically online in the internet has opened so many doors for me way. I don't know who I would be without it. Positive and negative tonal indicators used in that sentence. Back to the video. There is this video that this guy made that was commenting on another video that he was reacting to, which was a trend of people using Y2K technology. Just because Y2K is a trendy term that we use doesn't mean that everything in the Y2K was the same and that everything worked the same. There's a lot of things that go into having to buy these technologies and either crack them yourself or buy them pre-cracked. Y2K digicore that a lot of people are reverting to or trying to emulate, which goes into, there's this really good creator who, I'll link him, creator. I feel like such a freaking magoo saying that. There's this really cool dude on YouTube. I watched his video actually just today, even though it was on my watched later thing for ages is maybe a week or two. And he was talking about aura and aesthetics and attention economy, but also attention deficits, what that means, how it works. And he crammed it into, honestly, a really tight and tidy 20 minutes. And I thought it was really, really well done. But, oh my god, is this a philosopher talks about this? I think it's someone with an M. I can't remember for the life of me. There was this discussion about...
Who's that?
There was this discussion about the things that we kind of grab and hold on to act and perform our sense of self. But that act and performance, I think, can become something that takes over the everyday. If you have decided to employ yourself as a clown and you put on your clown makeup every single day, you have a clown car and you wear clown shoes, everyone's going to assume that you're a clown even if you're just wearing your clown shoes and everything else is very normal and very regular. You're holding on to those things that can signal directly to the economy of thought that we exist in, that this is what you are, this is what you do, these are the kind of things that you're into. I am interested to see when people stop using camcorders, when people start using digital cameras, when people stop reverting to like iPods, things like that. Not to be an asshole, but as someone who has been interested in these things for a bit on a fun hobby level, but also on a technical level, there was definitely a trend growing and growing, but it kind of exploded, which I find very interesting. Seeing this uptick in people being like, I have to get offline, go touch grass, get out, don't, literally delete all your social apps. But meanwhile, the internet has existed, and this is segueing into number 3. I really haven't been numbering these things. A segue into the inconvenient, helpful world that the internet has enabled and has always enabled. I was reading this manifesto that I think is the Hacker's Manifesto that was published sometime in the 70s or 80s, mostly because I'm trying to go back into web design, which I'm very, very bad at. But I was reading it over again, and it was really something that was tickling my brain. I've been thinking about this Tumblr post that I saw, I think like maybe a month or 2 ago, ages ago. The post was something like, maybe I like being inconvenienced. Maybe I like my technology being a little bit hard. Maybe I like the fiddly part of this task. Maybe I'm cool with that. And I think that's something very important. If you, someone who is so used to a digital realm, finds that you have this itch, this urge to break it, to just break away, do something analog, get your brain back in order, I really, really desperately have to say that it's going to be hard for you, again, to do it a cold turkey cut. The real world is incredibly inconvenient, and many tasks, many hobbies, many new things are incredibly inconvenient. I find things really, really difficult myself, and this is why I love the idea of convenience and inconvenience being leveled and balanced out in the things that I do. For example, listen, I tried to journal. I'm not gonna lie. And very quickly, I was like, the pen that I'm using is hurting my fingers. This other pen is also hurting my fingers, and I don't like the way that it's kind of, the way I write, it bleeds in this way. I don't really like that. I don't like the feeling of this book. I don't like the spine. I don't like the texture. I wish I could just type this on my phone. Type it on your phone. Type it on your phone. Type it on your phone. It's fine. Oh, it's so embarrassing to have a camera and record on your phone like concert footage, or you need to put your phone away. Do you think having a camcorder is that much better? A bigger thing that's clunky, and sometimes it makes noise and people could hear it clicking away during like a rave event, and you're holding it like this and you kind of have to fiddle with it and everything. I think these are the inconveniences that people don't think about, or maybe they do think about and kind of romanticize until it's actually happening. And after maybe 2 or 3 concert goes, you're like, I'm not bringing my camcorder anywhere. Can you fit your camcorder into your tiny little purse? Can you? I don't know. These are the things you have to go out and think about. Especially hobbies are sometimes incredibly inconvenient. The world changes rapidly in a blink of the eye. I'm not talking about geopolitical environments. I'm talking about literally just the weather. Getting hot, sweaty, doing things outside, things biting at you, nipping at you, crawling on you, the itchiness that you get on your face when your sweat tries to dry, but you're still kind of sweating. So it's like layers of salt sort of pooling on your eyebrows or behind your ears. These are things that are all real and true. This idea of quitting the internet is rooted in real feeling of stress and anxiety and feeling completely watched and paranoid and having the life sucked away from you. But it's also something that needs to be considered seriously If you really, really want to go analog, every era of existence, when technology happens and people have their hands on it, they're gonna use the latest thing. Of course, you have people who kept with their traditions and everything, but technology is the way that it is because it sweeps across a wide breadth of people. And it's useful. It's useful to have technology. If you hear something rattling, it's the laundry machine. There's nothing I can really do about it. But I needed to film this before I forgot to. Shall we wait it out?
How long is this going to take?
The laundry finally finished. My neighbors. I want chewing caramel now. I'm gonna try to swallow it like a pill. I'm damn near choked and died on camera. I have a lot less time now because my battery is running out. I think it's important to always leave a video that seems critiquing with something helpful. Here are some things that I think you can do that are not completely ditching the digital world, but instead embroidering on top of your digital world with real world textures. Digital collages. I think it is better to do the sourcing of digital collages in the real world instead of trying to find digital collage material online and then making a digital collage or trying to get something together to print it out. It's easy to get an app on your phone nowadays that can just take a picture, a really flat image of something, mark it up, brighten it, pump it with some contrast, and make it kind of scan quality. You can even get some apps that help kind of pan and level out things that seem to be a little bit bumpy. This is perfect for making collages from physical things that you find out and about. You can even make them from pictures, just random things that you've taken. Find a selfie and find something that was kind of funny in the background. Single out your fingernail or maybe like your lips or something. Maybe the strap of your shirt, the belt on your pants. Make that into something cool and fun. Make a collage out of it. And it's a way for you to use the things that you're making and saving yourself already, pictures that you've already been taking, things that you've already been sourcing, even like, can y'all hear that? Second thing that you can do, learn how to dance from online tutorials. Do you remember when TikTok was just a bunch of dances and Vines was just a bunch of dances? Do some of that. No one's saying that you can't. Just do some of that. That's so fun. That's so fun. And it's a way to move your body while still relying on something that's online so you don't feel like you're just subsumed in watching people do these moves. Pick up and do it. It was like a Brazilian remix of Get It Shawty by these gorgeous, gorgeous dancers. I thought they were so pretty, so cute, so sexy. Tried to learn it, had my iPad up, watched it at 0.75, 0.51, 1.25. I didn't do a 1.25, that's all a lie. And it was cool. Don't do that Sophia Richie thing. I'm talking about something that takes about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay? 3, do you obsess over like people's aesthetics and everything? Why don't you learn, learn interior design. Get some like free books and free resources on that or something. Watch a TV show. If you need a screen, watch that TV show. I'm not going to advocate for doing things that skirt around streaming platforms or anything because I love to put money into the pockets of big brands. But if you decide that you would like to do that, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm trying to stray away from things that could within themselves be sorted into trend buckets and trend baskets. Like I feel people recommending like crocheting and freaking like embroidery and sewing and things like that can turn into it's an interesting flowchart. It's a very interesting hill that tumbles into valleys and caverns that I think need to be explored or at least touched upon. But neither here nor there. Sparks note something. Do you know how you have like really long conversations with your friends? You should be. Really long conversations with your friends trying to explain something. Write it down. Maybe you can type it out, you can write it out, you can like make illustrations or something. Make a short mini guide in whatever medium you think is best suitable to explaining something without using a computer to remind you of it, like not looking up what other people were saying, and see if you can remember it, see how well you can do it. I have other things that I could add, but my camera's running out of battery. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again for watching my last video if you did watch it. If you didn't, maybe you'd like to. And I hope to see you guys again. Leave me comments about other ideas that you have for digiphysical hobbies and activities. And good luck trying to get some balance into your lives. Remember, trend hopping is still trend hopping, no matter how romanticized it is, no matter if it's online or offline. You're still trend hopping. And that's the addiction. But sometimes that's okay. I don't mind. I'm kind of being an asshole, aren't I? My camera is so hot.